Hello, my name is Nad. I'm one of the program directors for the West Middlesex GP training scheme in West London, and we have been using CATQR for probably around 8 months now. And I wanted to share some of the experiences we've had with using the app. So, to give some context, the reason we looked at taking on the CATQR tool was largely because our scheme has expanded massively over the last few years, and numbers are such that it's becoming increasingly difficult and onerous to monitor attendance on a weekly basis for all the resident doctors on the scheme. This was starting to create a huge admin burden where weekly registers had to be done, and then each register had to be checked to see who wasn't attending. So the initial interest was to try and get a tool that would automate the process of putting on the whole timetable for the term, and also automate the process of having a QR code that would allow attendance to be logged. We were concerned about having our previous static QR code because there's obviously potential for misuse with that if the same code is used every week. So we felt this tool was probably more appropriate and fulfilled our responsibility in ensuring that attendance was documented appropriately. So when you sign up to the CATQR tool, you get sent some webinars from places that have already started to, that already use the tool, and actually these are very easy to follow and talk you through how to set up the templates, which are very simple spreadsheet templates of adding on a term timetable, as well as how to add on students or trainees in this case, so that they can be booked into each of the sessions. So that's the process that we do once a term, where we add on the term timetable and all of the trainees are booked into each of the sessions in a simple 2-click process where it's done in bulk via a spreadsheet. What that then does is that each session, the resident doctors will then scan a QR code unique for that session, and the attendance is logged. And at the end of the session, the training program directors are emailed an attendance list, which flags all those that have attended, but more importantly, flags those that were meant to attend and haven't attended. So a DNA list, which was a really useful tool for us. So that has absolutely minimised the amount of admin that we're having to do with regards to the register and keeping log of attendance. And I'm really glad to say has automated the process in a really helpful manner. Given the fact that we have little to no admin support for the scheme, it's been a real game changer for our scheme. What I've also found really, really helpful with the CATQR code is actually some of the other things and other tools that are bundled in with our subscription. So the first of which is the ability to do automated certificates of attendance. So for mandatory training events or sessions that need to be certificated, it's a really simple process of, once the QR code is scanned by the resident doctor, that at the end of the session they will automatically be sent a certificate to say that they've attended the session, which they can use in their e-portfolios. Secondly, there's an option to add on some surveys and text feedback for each session, which is again a really simple process. You can add on a survey link for the session, so that sits in the resident doctor's app and they can fill that survey in at any point. And that's been really helpful for some of our speakers who are seeking feedback. And it's just a really easy, simple way of encouraging sort of uptake of the feedback process. And the third is a geolocation function, which essentially allows you to ensure that QR codes for the session are only scannable within a specified location. Whilst we haven't had to use that tool at the moment, because actually I think the QR codes and the process is actually pretty robust, I do like the option of having that tool, because actually I feel it would just help sort of satisfy the program directors even further, that actually when trainees are scanning, that we are validating their attendance, given the fact it can only be scanned in a location. I can't see us using that routinely, but I can see us using that for critical training events and mandatory training events, as it's a way of validating attendance at the time of scanning. So, I mean, in summary, I can't sing the praises highly enough of the CATQR team. I think the tool is really quite comprehensive and really does meet all of the needs. And what's more important is that actually once you get used to the simple spreadsheets and how to do the templates and add it once a term, it becomes a very simple process of actually adding all the resident doctors onto each session and adding the sessions in bulk. So I can't recommend it highly enough, and I think they've done a wonderful job of creating this tool. If you're in similar situations as us, I would seriously consider whether or not you could use some of the admin funding that you have for schemes to try and sign up to the process, as it's definitely a much more automated, much less onerous process. I hope that's been helpful.